This edition of MacVoices is supported by MacVoices Magazine, our free Flipboard magazine that brings you some of the best Mac, iPhone, and iPad productivity tips on the web. High in signal, low in noise, just like MacVoices, MacVoices Magazine includes information on how you can get more out of your Apple technology. Subscribe at macvoices.com/magazine or search for MacVoices Magazine in Flipboard on your iPad or iPhone. Welcome back to MacVoices. This is the Talk of the Mac community. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, back with us this time to help us start out 2015, at least on our regular schedule, is Mr. Philip Goward. Philip, it's great to have you here.
Hi, Chuck. It's wonderful to be back.
Smile Software does it again. You've released PDFpen 7, and I'm really excited about it, and I want you to tell everybody about it so they can be as excited as I am.
Yeah, we just released version 7 of PDFpen and PDFpen Pro, and both products are download direct from our website and Yosemite only. So unlike our previous versions, which you can still buy for previous operating systems, this one you have to have Yosemite before you decide to buy it or upgrade to it.
Now, I know you guys. You don't make those kind of decisions lightly. So is the technology in Yosemite key to PDFpen Pro 7?
Yeah, it is key to PDFpen Pro 7. We did a major user interface overhaul for PDFpen Pro 7, and also we made the products work with iCloud Drive, which is only on Yosemite as well. And it has differences to regular iCloud, and so we thought with the Apple technologies changing in this way, this was the right point to make a break of yes or no, because it becomes very hard to build a product which crosses the different operating systems when the technology varies so much. So we thought, okay, well, it's okay if you're still on Mavericks. You can still use our previous product, PDFpen 6. It's really good. And for those on Yosemite, PDFpen 7 is where it's at.
It's got to be tough. And I've talked to so many developers who I think they're a little hesitant to go Yosemite and Yosemite only because they almost have to in certain circumstances.
Sure.
But it's the way that it's going. And we all know if you don't keep up with Apple, you're going to fall way behind and then eventually fall off the table.
That's absolutely true. And there is a huge cost in terms of development for building a product to also work backwards on older operating systems. I mean, certainly Apple try and avoid doing it and mostly don't do it. And they're a big company with resources to handle it, so it's much harder for a small company to do that.
Is this... I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is this a rewrite for Yosemite, or is it just you had to make the changes and made them and it's only Yosemite compatible?
A bit of both. Some parts are rewritten for Yosemite and some parts have been reused and fitted to make work well with Yosemite. And so, yeah, it's always a trade-off which parts get the rewrite. I mean, for this, the user interface parts of a product had a fairly massive rewrite. Even the parts that look roughly the same had a massive rewrite.
Okay, so let's do the appearance thing first. What has changed mainly about the appearance? Is it just giving us access to more tools in a different fashion, or is it just a completely different look?
There's a lot of similarity in the look, but there's also a lot of differences too. I mean, if there's subtlety to it, like in the sidebar and the background around a page, if your page isn't fully filling the screen, shows through, like some of the Apple tools do, so you can see that blurred, soft background effect going on. It's super subtle. You don't really notice it while you're using it, but it has an effect on the visual side. And then on the utility side, things like a color menu, we've really enhanced hugely and taken advantage of some of the pop-up widgets you can now use within Yosemite, and so we have something which makes it much easier to select colors, but it's also a new modern look and looks also a lot more like the iPad as well.
When you make changes, you mentioned the background blur effect. When you make those changes, is it mainly because they're there to try to retain compatibility and consistency with the Apple interface, or do you reject that kind of thinking and just say, okay, if it's functional, we want it, and if it's not functional, we don't?
It's a bit of both. I mean, user interfaces change partly out of utility and partly out of fashion.
Wow, that's an interesting statement.
well, that's been my observance over a period of time. And fashions change, looks change. I mean, we've gone from 3D interfaces with very visually rich buttons to very flat interfaces with perhaps more subtle shading, but almost flat looking. And so that's a big change. I think that's definitely been true on iOS. On the Mac, it's not quite as flat a look as on iOS, but then you're dealing with multiple windows, so maybe that look wouldn't work as well. But I mean, some changes are fashion, let's face it.
I have to go with you. I can think of a couple utilities, and I know the developers, and it's not taking a shot at them or anything, but they've retained their look maybe just a little too long. And you're right, the apps do start to look dated, and I think that plays into the decision to use them or how you use them, and whether they are keeping up with what they should be keeping up with.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, there's two styles of those two forms of thought, really. I mean, one is, do you preserve that dated look because people are familiar with it, or do you adopt the look that is new for people who have maybe just come new to the platform, and for them, seeing something that looks inconsistent or doesn't fit is really weird, or maybe an eyesore even. But for a user who's used to it, they might prefer the older way. So there's a medium that we have to take as a developer. I mean, I prefer to tend towards adopting a modern. I think these days that's more important than necessarily keeping something because it's been that way all the time.
And you have those folks who growl whenever you change something, especially if you're changing it for, as you said, maybe a fashion reason or partially a fashion reason, because they know how to use it and they've been using it for X number of years and they don't want any changes. And that's a segment of your customer base you're trying to satisfy too.
Yeah, and that said, we haven't really had many growls. I mean,
Good.
I think people are pretty happy because generally the changes Apple are making and that we're adopting are ones that increase the utility and usability of the user interface for product for everyone.
So let's kick over and talk about the feature set. We've talked about appearance. What are the new features and functions of PDFpen 7?
One of the major new features is the ability to view the OCR layer of a scanned document which you performed optical character recognition on. In the past, in PDFpen, you could select the text, which was effectively formed from optical character recognition, and copy it, or even make a mass edit of it. But you could not just see those results alongside the scan. And so now you can turn on the OCR layer, the scan will recede into the background, and you'll see exactly the text that is extracted from it. With the optical character recognition, which is very handy because sometimes optical character recognition is not 100% accurate, and this text is used for indexing and searching. And on our PDFpen Pro product, you can also edit that OCR layer and make fixes perhaps to a name that OCR didn't capture the spelling of correctly, so it will properly index.
So the OCR, I may be repeating what you just said, but I want to make sure I get it right. So the OCR now is kept as a separate layer, but you retain the actual scanned document as well, and they can be separate things if you wish?
We always kept them separate, and they were within the document, those two layers, but you couldn't visibly see the results of the OCR.
Okay.
You couldn't see it.
All right.
All you could see was the scan.
And that's a very nice feature. You're right, especially if you want to manipulate those. That's the OCR scan.
Yeah, it is a very nice feature. I mean, and it's a fairly powerful feature for a lot of people. We've been asked for it for quite some time, and it is really important to be able to see that.
It occurs to me that we did it again I did it again. I'll take responsibility. That we probably should introduce people to, for those few people on the planet who don't know PDFpen.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. It's just we wanted to go right for the meat of the thing. So, what is PDFpen and the difference between PDFpen and PDFpen Pro?
Okay, PDFpen is a PDF editor for Mac, and it's also available on iOS and iPhone too. But we're focusing on Mac product, which is in version 7 now. And basically, you can open, browse, search, annotate, mark up, add comments to, and even edit your PDF. You can change text in it. Let's say you get a word that's wrong, or a date that's wrong, or a paragraph of an agreement that you don't like and want to reword. You can do all that in PDFpen, and it works directly in PDF format, so the result is a PDF still.
Sorry for that interruption, but it just occurred to me that we really hadn't introduced it properly.
Right.
And
the Pro version is that and steroids, of course.
Yeah. And with all due respect to PDFpen, I think PDFpen Pro is the one you want, because once you start using this, you become a bit addicted and a bit dependent upon it to do things with PDFs that you used to get PDFs and it's like, okay, there it is. What am I supposed to do with this? And with with PDFpen and PDFpen Pro, you can do pretty much anything you want with it.
Yeah, I mean, PDFpen Pro, some of the features we've added in version 7, let alone the features that exist in it already, some export formats. So you can excuse me, you can export to Microsoft PowerPoint, you can export to PDF archive format as well, and Microsoft Excel too. With PDFpen, you can export to Microsoft Word within terms of export features. But also the Pro product can convert websites to PDFs, complete with inter-page hyperlinks as well. And you can also edit PDF forms too.
Okay, there's a couple things in there I want to make sure we had. First of all, the Excel. Exporting to Excel is no small challenge because of all the things that a table that a spreadsheet can contain and all. So
true.
Are we talking about scanning a printed spreadsheet and then being able to integrate that into our Excel and manipulate the numbers?
That's correct. I mean, it will scan the tabular format and then convert that to Excel cells for you, which you can then edit. Obviously, you don't get the formulas behind those cells; you just get the content. But that's okay.
Yeah, when you guys figure out how to get the formulas, that's when you achieve wizardhood, I think.
Clairvoyance at least.
Yeah, that would be a very neat trick. The website PDF thing. Talk a little bit about that. That's interesting because here in PDFpen, you're not just taking something else, a scan or a PDF from somebody else, but you're actually creating one for yourself.
Right. If you've got I will say our prefix, this only works for traditional websites with unique URLs for each page that you don't have to log into. If it's a purely programmatic web page, which is all JavaScript, it won't work that way. But if you have a traditional website, you could just feed PDFpen Pro the URL for the starting page for a website and how deep you want it to follow links, and it will construct a PDF which includes the page it began with and the links to follow to the given depth you provide. And then it will hook up those links which are internal within the resulting single PDF file and keep external the links that remain external. And then you have like a PDF you can comment on, like to make comments about a website, or have a form of archive of that website, which is a more printed form. And so it can be very useful.
I can think of a number of uses for that. Like you say, an archival use that I want to get a record of this website or my website today versus next week versus next year. Being able to take a full website with me on a plane when I don't have connectivity or to someplace I don't have connectivity. A lot of uses for this.
Yeah, it can be super handy.
So we have website, we have the OCR layer, we have the export to different formats. And by the way, I'm assuming that if you can export to Excel, it's going out in an Excel compatible format, and therefore it can be pulled into numbers as well.
That's true. You'll get an Excel file which numbers will open.
Right. What else do we have?
Another feature, which is halfway between scanning and forms, which I kind of like, is if you have a scanned form that where it has all of those fields which you can't fill in, you can automatically have PDFpen Pro detect the fields on that page or pages and make fields for you to just be able to fill out and tab through. And that could be really time-saving and beneficial.
The feature, the forms feature in PDFpen is something I think is grossly underused. Now, I confess I underuse it because I forget about it. And then when I remember it, it's like, well, gee, why don't I do this more often? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, well, I'm not finding that because I use it quite a lot. But maybe there's a way we can make that more visible to people.
Yeah, just put a little reminder up there. Forms. And
well, one of the things we have done is, in terms of reminders, we've made a whole new set of videos on how to use the product. And David Sparks has been commissioned to make some really great how-tos. And a couple of those are about filling forms. And I think they really help as a refresher or a reminder, or for new users, how to actually achieve some of the most common tasks that you want to perform within PDFpen and PDFpen Pro.
David does a great job, and videos are such a great way to learn the products. There are times I'm a little surprised that more developers don't use them. Nobody likes a manual. Mm-hmm. Everybody figures they should be able to figure it out right away. And as software gets more powerful and some of these features get a little more in-depth, it's really the easiest thing you can do is to watch somebody else do it and then try it yourself.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And especially with these videos, we want to keep them really short so that you can learn something without putting in much effort or energy and not committing to a 30-minute TV show, but committing to 1 or 2 minutes of your life, which anybody can do.
That's an interesting point. Yes, I like in-depth training if I really need to sit down, but there are always those times it's like, okay, I really want to learn just this feature, and I need to do it right quick. And
precisely.
In a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you can do that.
Yeah, that's really been our focus.
Yeah. Before we get on to some of the pricing and availability, I want to make sure though. I ask this: where do folks go to find the David Sparks videos? Are they on the Smile website?
Yeah, you just go to the smilesoftware.com website in PDFpen section, right under videos. You'll find all of those different videos.
Great. I'll make sure I have a link in the show notes to those so you can find them even easier. I keep saying this. Do we have any more new features? I mean, that's a lot right there.
Yeah. One of the nice new features, as an addition to Forms, is we now support the signature widget from Adobe in Forms. And with this, you can sign directly into a document. I mean, you could always sign a page in PDFpen by scanning a signature or writing it directly, but this lets you use a pre-configured field and guides you through the process in a really convenient way, and that's a nice usability enhancement.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It seems like this is one of those utilities again that you're adding features that a small subset of people need, that they've already identified they need them, but it's nice to have them there when you need them, as opposed to trying to do these grand major features and making it a more complex piece of software.
Well, it's such a mature piece of software. It has a lot of features in, and each time we do a major iteration, we both try and streamline what's there to make it simpler in general process, as well as add new features. So it's a real trick to be able to add something while keeping it, while trying to make it seem simpler than it ever was.
Do you ever take features out, Philip?
I'm sure we have. I'm trying to think of one.
But they were so minor that you don't even remember.
I think the kind of features we take out are more under the hood things which we decide we can achieve in better ways.
That's a fair statement. I don't think I've ever asked that question. Did you take anything out? Because if you don't, I mean, then you end up with the bloatware that. Again, I'm not going to call any names, but we all know it. That have 25 menus and all kind of palettes and everything flying around everywhere, and you don't even have a workspace. So right. I like that answer. That you just maybe try to find a slicker, easier, subtler way to do it.
Yeah, streamlined.
Streamlined. So how about availability? I know that, again, a lot of developers are trying to make decisions about being in the App Store, not being in the App Store, what features are available if you are and if you aren't. How are you handling this for PDFpen 7?
So right now we're available only for download from our website for PDFpen 7 and PDFpen Pro 7. We have submitted to the App Store, so we hope to have it available in the App Store soon, pending Apple review. The pricing of the product is now, actually, I need to look this up to get it exactly accurate, because we changed the pricing and it's not off the top of my head like it used to be. So the actual price of PDFpen Pro is $124.95. The price of PDFpen is $74.95. And it'll be the same on App Store and our website. There is also upgrade pricing for existing users of PDFpen. And the upgrade pricing applies if you purchase before the 1st of August 2014. If you bought on the 1st of August of 2014 or after, the upgrade is free. But so if you are the upgrade pricing, and you will be $30 to upgrade to the newest version, or so that would be PDFpen 6 to PDFpen 7, for example, or PDFpen 5 to PDFpen 7 even. And if you are wanting to cross-grade, which means going from a previous PDFpen to PDFpen Pro, there is a different pricing for that, which I believe is $50. I should have a story. Yes, it's $50.
Now I'm going to try to stump you. Not intentionally. Not intentionally. But I know Smile had done something unique the last time you did an App Store upgrade. How will the upgrade be handled for those who have purchased and will purchase through the App Store?
Okay, the upgrades for App Store purchases are the same as the upgrades for regular users, but only for the direct purchase version. So if you have an App Store version and want to purchase the direct version from us, you can download and install, then you pay the same upgrade price as anybody else who had the prior version that was the direct download from us. However, we do not have an upgrade from a previous App Store user to a new App Store version that is full price.
Okay. Again, it's a sign of the times, I guess, that you have these interesting pricing and upgrade matrices that everyone's trying to figure out. Well, again, I know you guys, you're trying to be fair, but you also have to keep the lights on. You want to be fair to the longtime users, but you want to be fair to the new users, and so it's a challenge, and it is a major upgrade too. So
yeah, and also there was one major difference in PDFpen 6 between the App Store and the regular version, which was access to iCloud. And now, since the advent of iCloud Drive and Yosemite, any application bought from the App Store or not can access our iCloud Drive. So PDFpen and PDFpen Pro bought direct from us are not limited in that way. And so there is less of a necessity to say I have to upgrade through the App Store, even with iCloud.
Again, it sounds like a great upgrade. And at this point in the interview, I usually say what I'm about to say, and that is that Smile has been and is it's a long time. In fact, you're the longest running sponsor of MacVoices, and I deeply appreciate it. And that's not why Philip is here. It's never why Smile is here. They're here because they make great products that I want to make sure you know about. So just under the heading of full disclosure.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it too, Philip. But it's true. It really is. I've said this so often that Text Expander I use at least I don't know how many times an hour. PDFpen Pro is one of my go-to utilities. So you guys have valued places on my computer.
Our pleasure to occupy them.
Good. So, smilesoftware.com, of course, is where you go to learn this. And since we just did the whole pricing thing, that's where you need to go to get PDFpen Pro 7.
Right. And more details about the pricing stuff and upgrades are on the website.
And the videos and more general information.
Yeah, lots of information about the product and features.
Great. Philip, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time to tell us about it. And we'll talk to you again real soon, the next time you have news.
My pleasure, Chuck. Thank you.
All right, take care. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. This year, folks, we want to try to hear from you a little more. So drop me an email at chuck@macvoices.com. Comment on Twitter. I'm at Chuck Joyner on Twitter. And even if you have to, Facebook. You know I'm not a Facebook fan, but I'll try to answer there too. Let us know what you think of PDFpen Pro 7 and PDFpen 7 and PDFpen Pro 7 and anything else we do here on MacVoices. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.